I'm back. Let's do this. So I've been really busy. I've been out of commission, but I've been watching. And I've got some thoughts that I want to share. I think it's a great time to get into this, talking about Star Wars fandom. And is there a war going on? Is there a division? What does Star Wars unity look like? That's what we're going to dig into today. And, all of the things that have happened lately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what size YouTuber you are, what size fan you are. None of that matters. All that matters is that you are a Star Wars fan, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about. Welcome back to Echo Base Network. I am the coach. Our mission here is to keep Star Wars alive and remember why we love it in the first place. So we want to start right here. Growing up, all I knew, like many of you, was that I loved Star Wars. The movies, the toys, games, cartoons, commercials, comic books, you name it, I loved it, you loved it. Anything with Star Wars on it was a winner. That was the world that we lived in. Being a Star Wars fan, guys, really truly was a brotherhood. It really was. We had a unique shared bond. And it created friendships, relationships, and like this picture indicates, even marriages. 1983 to 1994, though, that felt like an eternity when no new Star Wars was coming out. Many of us didn't believe we would ever get new Star Wars again. Then, in 1994, George Lucas dropped a bomb that he was writing a new Star Wars prequel trilogy. For 5 straight years, the fandom salivated at the mouth. The only negative to it, before we saw it, was that we weren't getting the original cast, our heroes, Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, C-3PO, R2. But Star Wars was coming back, and that was definitely a win, and something definitely worth being excited about. There's no doubt about it. So we went to go see the Phantom Menace premiere, and personally, I left numb. It took me several times to see it before I realized that I really didn't like it. But we would have incredible moments in the prequel trilogy. Take a look at the image here. The Darth Maul Duel of the Fates fight in The Phantom Menace. Yoda versus Dooku in that moment where Yoda uses the Force to pull his lightsaber to his hand. And too many epic moments in Revenge of the Sith to mention. It was a good movie. But overall, for me, it was just different. And many people say that the Star Wars fandom has always been divided. I'm going to have to argue that I believe it's at this moment, during the prequel trilogy era, where the division happened. Because before that, we were all united. There were some people who didn't care for Return of the Jedi. That was about the extent of it. That was it. And it's not like they hated it. Very few people, Star Wars fans, hated Return of the Jedi. So, when many fans judged the prequel trilogy to be marginal or bad while it was still fresh, that is when the division happened. But it wasn't a very aggressive division. And I know that you could argue about, the lack of social media at the time and all of that. I certainly get that. But now that we've covered when this division occurred, let's look at the word unity. You hear it all the time about what will it take for the fan base to be united. What does unity even mean? Unity literally means being combined as a whole. So how can the fan base be combined as a whole? Well, I'm going to answer that very simply, and you heard it here first, I hope. It can't. we're never going to be combined as a whole. It's never going to be a 100% kind of endeavor on our part. So when people talk about the fan base being united, to me, that is a code for saying all of us in agreement. We're all in agreement, and that is great. That is great Star Wars. That's what people mean by united, and that is not going to be possible. When Luke showed up in Chapter 16 of The Mandalorian, the overwhelming majority of fans loved that moment. So people said the fan base was united. When The Last Jedi came out, as you guys already know, the fan base was divided, they said, because so many people didn't like it. It's kind of funny how that works. When something's good, we're united, and when something is bad, it's when we don't like it. That's actually kind of interesting to me. So here's an issue with Star Wars fans today, and I'm talking. This is directly. This is self-reflection, guys. This is about me as well. With the things that we've mentioned in this episode already, many fans, and critics even use the word toxic as a blanket statement to describe anyone who doesn't like Star Wars that they happen to like. You don't like The Last Jedi? You're toxic. You don't like The Mandalorian? Toxic. You don't like Admiral Holdo? Who does? That's crazy. Toxic. This is another case where I chalk this up as improper word usage. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. How is my not liking the sequel trilogy being toxic? That absolutely makes no sense. And the simple answer is it's not. It's not toxic at all. So let's continue. In conclusion, the fan base is not going to be healed because it doesn't need to be healed. It's not even in a state of needing any type of healing whatsoever. After all, what would that even look like? There is nothing wrong with Star Wars fandom. The Star Wars fandom would be a better place, however, if we could get away and refrain from the name calling and stop using adjectives to describe other people like toxic. After all, adjectives aren't facts. Calling someone toxic is an emotional shortcut for the name caller. It's a way for the name caller to keep the focus on the other person and not them. Also, these name callers tend to spend a lot of time and energy looking for anything they can to justify their feelings. They scroll through our videos. We've seen it. You've seen it. Some of you have done it. I have done it. You scroll through people's videos. You look at their titles. You look at their thumbnails. You look at their social media post. What have they liked? What have they disliked? All of those things. And we're looking at those things as a trigger for justification. We're trying to justify our feelings, or you're trying to justify your feelings, and that is exactly why you're doing the deep dive. Now, to finish this up, guys, the reality is this is never going to stop in the world we live in. The best we can do is to show kindness and be open to having a conversation about Star Wars. We can talk about our differences. We don't hate anyone for their opinion on Star Wars, because honestly, guys, to hate somebody for their opinion on Star Wars, that's kind of silly. Actually, it's not kind of silly. It's extremely silly. I would say to that person, you really need to take a look in the mirror and do some reflection. We're talking about Star Wars. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there any hope for the Star Wars fandom? What do you think about our take here at Echo Base Network? You know, we pride ourselves on creating a channel where any Star Wars fan is welcome. I don't care who your favorite character is, who you like, who you don't, who your favorite author is. Do you like the EU or not? Do you like Ryan Johnson? I don't care. It does not matter to me. We may disagree, and if the sequel trilogy is your favorite and you don't like the original trilogy, I might think you're a little weird, but that's okay. You probably think the same about me. As always, guys, I am the coach for Nick. We are, and you are, Echo Base Network, and we will see you this Saturday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We have a very special featured guest. His name is Michael, and he comes from the channel called Retro Blasting. Oh, yeah. It's Michael. It's going to be awesome. We will celebrate Star Wars, and we will always remember why we loved it to begin with. I'm Coach. See y'all in the next one.